Fear is that we will be thrown off the world reserve currency. I don't know what that means for us.
Once it gets to 120, things start to crumble. 150 and it's thermonuclear, 200 and the global economy is a crash like you've never seen. The Saudis are now saying, no, we're gonna start doing deals with China, Turkey, maybe even Iran after the war, because it turns out America, it was a lie.
It's shit like Simon says, what I say go, my goods be doing the most.
Yo, what is good? Welcome back to No Cap Podcast. This is your host, Money Mitch. And again, we are coming back to the economy, man, because, bro, things are just getting harder and harder. So I tapped into one of my favorite YouTubers, Sean Ryan, classic Secret Service, ex-Secret Service guy. And he had a gentleman on there. Don't remember his name, but I'll put up the video for y'all so y'all can see who he is. And he was talking about something that, ironically, that my mother was talking about. Like a year or two ago, watch, the US dollar is gonna die and we're gonna convert to BRICS currency, and BRICS currency is Brazil, China, Egypt, Ethiopia, India, Indonesia, Iran, Russia, South Africa, and the United Arab Emirates, which UAE, right? So basically, that's what they're gonna talk about. We talk about how we gonna switch from the petrodollar being like, the head lead for all financial transactions across the world, global financial transactions. We're going to switch to BRICS, which is their currency, right? And everyone that associates with them. So I'm not going to talk too much about it because I don't want to be pushing something that's not true, but I'm just telling you the case based off this video. Let's watch it right now. Let's tap in.
Is dying for another fucking country. That is number one, but for the longevity of the country, I mean, I think the petrodollar is falling at a rapid pace. There's been about BRICS. It's been around for a long time. They're trying to throw us off the world reserve currency. The petro yen is rising. Now they're taking payments in yen. So what does that mean for us? I mean, that's we've essentially shut off oil to the Western world, Europe, or so. It's still going to China. They found a back door, and when they said that the blockade was just for the Western world at the beginning. It wasn't until we showed up that China and these and mainly China, they didn't slow down.
Yeah.
So everybody's fucking pissed at us because their energy is going to fall, which means their economy is going to fall. And we're in the fucking way of that. And we aren't.
Yeah.
It's impossible to even negotiate because they kill all the people that we're negotiating with.
Yeah.
Israelis kill all the people we're negotiating with. And so my major fear is that we will be thrown off the world reserve currency. I don't know what that means for us, but I know it's not going to be good. That's the end of the road.
Yeah. So I agree with you. My number one problem is that I can't stand the loss of American sovereignty. I can't stand it, right? Like, the whole point of the country is freedom, and they're taking our freedom away, and it bothers me to no end. I'm gonna come back talk about that more later, because I'm so corny in how patriotic I am, and I love this country, and I hate that they're taking the core of it away. It bothers me more than you could imagine. But now let's talk about what you mentioned, the economic stuff. Okay, that is a second calamity, and it is going to be much larger than people realize. Trump is barely holding it together with duct tape, with lie after lie. Oh, well, peace around the corner. Oh, don't worry, the oil's going to drop. And I don't know why the markets believe him. I mean, the guy lies about everything. I don't know why, but they believe him.
Here's another question. Is he holding it together? Is he really holding it together? And is that why he's saying all this shit? Or is he manipulating the market?
Oh, he's doing both. Yeah. So look, so let's talk about the cascading disasters, then come back to Trump and why he has to do what he's doing. So, number one, 20% of the oil comes through the Strait of Hormuz for the whole world, right? Oil is sold in a world market. So when people say, oh, we're energy independent, that doesn't mean anything. It's just a made up phrase, because it's not our oil that the ExxonMobil and Chevron takes out of our soil. The minute they have it, it's ExxonMobil's oil, and ExxonMobil doesn't have to sell it inside the country. They can sell it all across the world, and they do. So we're not energy independent at all. We're in the global oil markets. So when the price of oil goes up for China, it goes up for us, okay? And so, but it went up more for us because you're right, in the beginning, Iran's controlling it and China is their ally. So they're letting the Chinese oil go through. Now, why did we allow that for so long? We even allowed the Iranians to sell their oil, because if the oil prices explode, which they will, that hurts the entire market and the entire economy. The stock market crashes, rich people get uncomfortable, but then we have cascading consequences for the economy overall. So when oil hits over $100, panic begins to set. And a couple of times we went past $100 per barrel. And once it gets to 120, the things start to crumble. 150 and it's thermonuclear. 200 and the global economy is a crash like you've never seen. Okay, so that's why Trump has to hold it together. He has to make sure that the price of oil doesn't go up too much in the middle of the war. But Israel put us in a spot that is unwinnable and untenable. We can't get out. It's already too late. Because once Iran closes the strait, we've got to get them to open it back up. If we don't get them to open it back up, it's definitely going to 120, and it might go to 150. And some now on Wall Street, some of the smart guys are beginning to think, holy shit, it might go to 200. So so right now there's shortages in South Korea, there's shortages in India, shortages of energy all across the world. And we haven't hit what I think is the worst part of the war that's coming up. If we don't get the hell out of there, this is going to be an economic collapse like people have not seen. So why is Israel doing this? Number one, they want to take southern Lebanon, and this is all a giant distraction. Number two, they want the Iranians destroyed so they can't fund Hamas, Hezbollah, et cetera. So it's all about their interest, not our interest. But the parts people don't talk about, they just opened up the Leviathan gas field. For the first time, Israel now has a source of energy. And after the war starts, Netanyahu goes and brags on air, well, now that all those the strait is closed and the other things are foreclosed, you're going to have to rely on Leviathan and Israel.
Holy shit.
Okay. And when the world falls apart and we lose all of our allies, we lose NATO, we lose the Middle East, we lose everyone, Israel then says, we're your only ally. See, the rest of the world hates you. Well, why do they hate us? Because we did the shit you wanted us to do.
I think everybody sees what's happening. Everybody sees the negotiators being killed by Israel. And everybody sees it but us, but we see it. But our leadership, this administration, they don't acknowledge it. But I would just want to read something to break down the petrodollar and why it's important. Since the early 1970s, a foundational deal between the U.S. and Saudi Arabia has underpinned the entire global financial system. Oil is priced and sold exclusively in U.S. dollars. That means every nation on earth, regardless of its relationship with the U.S., must hold U.S. dollars to buy energy. Those dollar surpluses are then recycled back into the U.S. Treasury bonds, keeping American borrowing cost artificially low and sustaining the dollar as the world's reserve currency. The system has funded decades of U.S. military and economic dominance. Lose it, and the United States loses its ability to borrow cheaply, sanction adversaries, and project global power. 21 million barrels a day come out of the Strait of Hormuz. It's 530 billion in oil per year. 25% of the world's oil.
So that's the next thing I was going to get to, brother. So if you think it's bad with what oil prices will do to the world economy, wait till you see what it does to us when they stop using the dollar to exchange oil. Why? So here's what people have to understand. It's just one more step, and it's actually an easy step that a lot of people will get. When they use the dollar as that reserve currency throughout the world, just like you read there, everybody has to stock up on the dollar. But if they don't have to do that anymore, it lowers the value of the dollar, which means that we could buy less with the dollar, which means prices are going to be even higher. And we don't become the standard bearer anymore. That means they could give us an interest rate that is higher to buy our treasury bonds because we're no longer the reserve currency. We're no longer guaranteed to be able to pay it back. So that means all of our debt gets multiplied because now we're all paying a higher interest. So all that money we borrowed from China and Japan to give to Israel, we'll have to pay a higher interest on it if we're not the reserve currency. So it has many other cascading consequences, but just on the interest rate alone and the fact that they don't have to buy the dollar anymore and the inflation that'll cause, two other giant calamities. It's going to make the economy here so much worse.
It's already bad. 6 ways the Iran war is threatening dollar dominance. The Strait of Hormuz closure, yen for passage. That's trading oil in yen and accessing the strait in yen. The Gulf state dollar dump. UAE warned it may use yen or other currencies if it runs low on U.S. dollars. The Treasury sell-off. Bond traders are dumping treasuries and amid high inflation fears. BRICS acceleration. We just talked about BRICS. That's growing. Last time I checked, I think there was 22 countries, probably a lot more. That's to throw us off the reserve currency, and oil's at about 20 a barrel. So
yeah, so BRICS is Brazil, Russia, India, China, etc. So now when you put that together, that is a massive power. Okay, and
it's
now
the counter to NATO.
100%. Now people are looking and going, wait, why do I have to listen to America? Why don't I just go do a deal with BRICS? Even
why the
Europe
fuck would you listen to America? Why would you want to? Why? I mean, all the tariffs, the sanctions. Why would you want to? You know, every country around the world has to be going, hey, we don't have to put up with this shit. This is out of fucking control.
Exactly.
Everybody's going to listen to that remark.
When you put in the tariffs on top of this war that literally everyone on planet Earth said, don't, it makes no sense. Partly because everyone knew Iran, the first thing they're going to do is block the Strait of Hormuz. So, but the Israelis convinced, whether they actually convinced them or they have blackmail or whatever it is, but the official story is they convinced Donald Trump that don't worry, the Iranians are backwards, stupid Muslims. They won't figure out how to close the Strait of Hormuz. That's the easiest thing in the world. Just put in mines in there. And they said, oh, don't worry, they won't attack our Gulf countries. One of the things you read on that list, the UAE considering switching off the dollar, is sacrilege. Because the Gulf countries, UAE, Saudi Arabia, etc., we've been theoretically providing their defenses this whole time. And so they're supposed to be like totally on our side and kind of almost addicted to us. They need us. And then what happened in this Iran war? Not only did we start a war that got them attacked, and was Iran going to attack those Gulf countries? Of course, our bases are in the Gulf countries. They can't reach America. That's why we had no interest in Iran. But they can reach our bases. So of course they're going to attack our bases. And so the UAE and Saudi Arabia foolishly thought, well, the Americans will at least protect their own bases, so they'll protect us. No, all we did was protect Israel. And so when the war started and we didn't even protect UAE and Saudi Arabia, they got furious. Those suckers really thought that we cared about them. No, you didn't buy our politicians, Israel did. So we don't care about you at all. We're just using you, you idiots. And now they realize it. Just before I came here, another news report, the Saudis are now saying, no, we're going to start doing deals with China, Turkey, maybe even Iran after the war, etc., because it turns out America, it was a lie. They're not going to protect us. They didn't protect us. So we got to get off of this alliance. Now, they're the ones that hold a lot of the oil. They start trading in yen. They start trading in other currency. We're totally screwed. And the whole time, Israel's going to be cackling in the corner going, ha, 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 we're your only ally left.
All right. So basically, I think as of like today or yesterday, um, China gained access to the Strait of Hormuz, right? So they're doing the oil transactions, and like people forget, oil literally affects everything. The transportation industry is the biggest industry. That oil affects farm equipment. It affects grocery stores now, right? It affects so many different things that people don't look at because it's not just gasoline. It's a lot of different things. Um, so basically, he's describing like, yeah, the dollar's dead, guys. Like the dollar is about to be nothing because China's already showing you that they're gonna take head and be like, you know what, fuck the dollar. We'll just use the yen or the yuan, however you want to say it, right? So that's really gonna, if like he said, if it gets to 200 a barrel, then that's really going to affect some things. And on paper, I think on paper it's trading at like 80, but then in person it's trading at like 130. And that's like a big deal that people don't compensate for. Like, you're not going to buy the oil and sell the oil at the same price you bought it. You're going to buy the oil and then sell it at a profit. So, you know what I mean? Like the oil is going to be listed at 80. Yeah, like, $80. And then you're going to come in and, 130, That's how they're going to do you. But I just wanted to do this like quick little video on that. And catch me on Twitch, catch me on Discord, catch me on Patreon here soon. Instagram, TikTok. That's about it. I don't have X or don't nothing like that, but catch me on there. Tell me what you think. Like, comment, subscribe, please. I'm trying to blow this channel up. I'm already at 10 videos this year. I'm kind of late behind the curve, but we're building up. Like I said, pay attention to what's going on. Follow the money, right? And understand this stuff is happening every single day. While you're at work not doing nothing, or while we're all being lackadaisical, chilling, whatever, scrolling on our phones, this stuff is going on behind closed doors. But till next time, peace.